Okay, we set up the spray, we close in a lot of stuff. The overspray is not going to get up against that wall. See, I have a big fan right here. Okay. And I have a fan here in the window. The window's open. And the fan is blowing towards me. And you can see I have a couple of filters. You have to keep pollen and dust and stuff. Now dust and pollen can still get in this place. Got some more filters. Okay, we'll be painting way over here. We have this door open. And both those fans running. Got a pretty good little breeze going through here. So the overspray is going to go out this door. That's just an open door with no filter, of course, and then nothing. Okay, now this, like I said, this is not a paint shop. This is the best we can do, just to keep the overspray down. Now, the fans and that filter are going to keep pollen, dust, and that kind of stuff out of it. Now, there's probably cracks in different places where air can get through, where dust can get through. But we've painted here before, we've done this before, and we got some pretty good results. Okay, and there's our floor protection. Now the vehicle we're going to paint is going to be backed in here, and the front is going to be sitting here. It's going to be way over here. Okay, so it's going to make it a lot easier. In fact, the vehicle is sitting out here. Okay, we're going to paint the front end. Okay, so that's where we are. Now I'm going to wear one of these hoods. Okay, I have a paint suit on, gloves. I'm going to wear one of these hoods. Oh, just keep the paint out my hair. Okay, because overspray will get on you. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the clothes that I'm going to wear. Well, this, after this, and that, and the respirator, of course. Okay. Now we're going to show you how we're going to paint it. Okay. What we're going to do is, so we got our gun. Got some black paint in the gun. Okay, let's just spray some kind of pattern. Remember, 6 inches away. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do is, this is our bumper. Okay, pretend like this is the bumper. This line right here, this is a water-based paint, and I'm not smelling any fumes, anything without the respirator. We're going to pretend like this is the bumper, this is the bottom of it, this is under the car, under the truck. Okay. So what we want to do is when we make our first pass, we're going to catch it about halfway. Half the paint's going to go under the car, and the other half is going to be at the top. Now what we're going to do is we're not going to try to paint it here and just try to catch that edge, because you're going to mess up and that's the edge. We're going to make sure we got that edge. Now we come up with the second coat. Okay? When we come up with the second coat, right, you see what our pattern's going to be. Now old school, you would go halfway. We're going to start from the bottom and go up. Old school, you would go halfway. Then you'd paint. We're gonna do less than halfway. So if we paint here, we're gonna go less than halfway with our next one. Okay, now you gotta move. We're gonna have to move because we're playing cardboard, it's gonna soak in the cardboard. But anyway, I'll show you. Now when you hold your gun parallel to the surface. You don't paint like this. That's the worst thing you can do. You hold your gun straight. Okay? And keep it parallel, perpendicular I should say, with the surface. We try to stay the same distance. Remember we want to go 6 inches. Obviously, no we're gonna go about here. Okay? When we get down, we're gonna put our first coat. Okay. See how we overlapping? Not going halfway. Alright. Now this is a water-based paint. Let the compressor kick off. It's a water-based paint. So it's going to paint different than paint you're going to paint on your car. It'll be a little different. It's pretty cool. Okay. Now this is cardboard, so you're gonna see through the cardboard, but it's not pretty good. See the bottom, so you wanna cut that. That's under the truck. Alright. That's pretty much it. Remember, don't try to paint like this. If you do, it's going to be light on the edges and heavy in the middle. Okay? Paint gun paint's pretty good. The paint's a little thick. I should have thinned it a little bit more. It probably would paint a little bit better. That's pretty much it. That's how we paint. Okay, the paint is a little thick, so what I did, I added water. Instead of mixing it in a mixing cup, I added water to the reservoir here. Okay. Now it might be still some thick paint that's in the gun, but I got a little thinner. It might be too thin, but I got a little thinner. Okay. Now, let's paint this. We're going to pretend like this is the ground, and this is the bottom of our fender, bumper, or whatever we're painting. Okay. Now let's see how it's going to paint. Might be a little thin. Now you want a wet coat, okay? When you come with your, that painted better. Now you want to come with when you come with your first coat of your sealer, okay? In this particular case, we had to get out, we had to spray something to help the paint adhere, because we paint over plastic, rubber, or whatever. But when you come back with your sealer, you put one wet coat, okay? So, that's a wet coat. Now we're going to go down, we're going to put another coat here. Okay, we're going to put another coat here. Dry, not down, it's not even close to being dry. It doesn't flash off, it doesn't have a sealer in it, not a sealer, but a hardener. It doesn't have a hardener. And it's going to air dry. So it's going to take a while for it to dry. Now it might run because like I said, it's still wet. Let's try it. Stay in parallel, about 5 or 6 inches away. We're watching the paint. Watching what we're painting. And they could run. Okay? That's pretty much it. Depending on your paint, if you can get some cardboard to practice, okay, this is a real cheap paint I'm painting, okay? The paint was like, this is from Hobby Lobby, okay? It's a craft paint. It was a metallic. I think this was a couple bucks. I don't even think it was $3. I got a black one, and I got a red one. I'm probably not showing you the thing. I got a red one. This one was, price is $1.99, and this is 8 ounces, $1.99. But you do have to definitely mix it with a little water. Good for practice, cheap paint. It's easy to clean out the gun. All you got to do is run water through it. Okay, now I'm going to take the gun apart to make sure. But I'm going to run a bunch of water through it to clean it. Now, the shelf life is probably indefinitely, as far as being pot life, I should say. As far as being in here, probably indefinitely. I don't know if I'm catching this in the camera or not. It's probably indefinitely, but not so for the gun. Okay, it'll eventually dry in your gun. You don't just hang this up and tomorrow come back and paint. You definitely got to clean the gun. But you can get a lot of practice out of this paint, this cheap paint. Okay, and then when you get ready to paint your project, your fender, your bumper, whatever you're gonna paint, when you get ready to paint your project, okay, mix your paint. Let's prepare the surface. Prepare the surface real good. You know, sand it. You know, prepare it. Take a little blow gun and blow any dust, anything off of your project. You can wipe it down with a tack cloth if you like. Okay, before painting. But anyway, set you up some cardboard like this. Put it on a wall, whatever you're gonna put it. And practice with the paint that you're gonna paint your car with. Now, cardboard is a little different. Cardboard is gonna suck up the paint. If this was metal or prime surface, it would paint a little bit different. Okay, you got to keep that in consideration. But as you can see, it did a good job. There's no runners anywhere. Okay, that's pretty much how we're going to paint. I'm going to mix up some of the red paint and paint a little red paint, play with it before cleaning them up. Well, I actually got to clean the gum. I'll clean the gum with water, like I said before. I'll clean it with water, then I'll maybe come back and put a little red paint. And but it's good to practice and to demonstrate. Now I'm going to show you you saw the, let's see, show you the pattern again. Let's see, I think we can see that right here. All right, we'll put it right here. But father 6 inches away. Okay, 4 to 6 inches away. Hold the gun down. Okay. If you see, it's heavy here, and light here, and light here. Okay. And that's why you overlap. If you don't overlap, okay, it's going to be too light. And if you come halfway to overlap, you see, you're not going to be covering your whole surface. So it will be heavy in the middle, and then lighter as you get down. You'll learn the gun. The more you spray, the better you'll get. Get you a bunch of cardboard and practice. Play with it. Like I said, play with the different paints. Now, this paint is extremely expensive. Cheap, inexpensive. Is what I'm trying to say. All right. If your automotive paint is extremely expensive. Okay. This stuff is $80 a pint. Okay. $80 for a pint. Not a quart, a pint. Okay, you're looking at a couple $100 a gallon easily. That's just the paint. That's not the other additives that you add with it. Now this cleans up with water. You're going to need lacquer thinner to clean up the automotive paint. Check with your data sheet, but just regular lacquer thinner. Okay, you pick this up at Lowe's, Home Depot, one of those places. I got this from Lowe's. Okay, I think it was $25 a gallon or something like that. Back years ago when I painted lacquer thinner was $8 a gallon. Now gas was a lot cheaper too, but anyway, you get the idea. I hope this video is coming out good. So I'm gonna put on my respirator. I'm gonna paint a little bit more before cleaning my gun. Okay, we're gonna recap. Okay. Always, never paint like this. Get heavy, light, always go square. Go 4 to 6 inches, 4 to 6 inches away from your product, from your panel that you painted. Okay, remember this is 4, this is 6. Okay, somewhere in there. When you overlap, when you come back to overlap, the way I do it, I look at the paint. I watch the paint. And you can look at the paint as the paint is, you can tell where it's heavy and where it's light. Now you wouldn't want to go halfway. Okay, I'll show you one. This is pretty heavy. It's funny it hadn't run. So you can see how it's just got in the middle? Alright, so if you went half of this spray, you'd be way up here. Okay? Half of this, you'd be way up here with your I put it real heavy. Okay, so you wouldn't get a full cover. That's pretty heavy, and it's not running. Like I said, what you do is, watch your paint. Well, you press, let up. 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 We're probably gonna run there. Press, let up. That's pretty thick here. Alright, you see? You don't want to go too fast, and of course you don't want to go too slow. If you go too slow, you'll get run. Okay. Now it looks all messed up because of the cardboard. It's following the contour of the cardboard. But all in all, it's pretty good job. Now, like I said, it's different when you get ready to paint your vehicle. It'll be a little bit different. So, but you'll learn from doing this, and you'll learn how your gun works, and you'll learn how to handle your gun, all that. All right. So hopefully that'll show you. Now I'm gonna paint. Get all this ready to go. I gotta prep my car, and then I'm going to paint it. 4 coats, or I should say 4 layers, 4 different paints. Let's put it that way. All right, to do the job. Okay. We put the spray can stuff to make it adhere. Spray that first. Then we're going to come back with the sealer. Okay, the sealer requires a wet coat. Come back with the sealer. Now after we put the sealer, we got 72 hours to paint without scuffing it up again. So after the sealer will be the base coat. Now the base coat, we're going to put at least 2 base coats on there. We're going to mix up our paint, our base coat in here, and we're going to let it flash off. We're going to give it 10 minutes. After we paint, let it flash off, 10 minutes or so. And then we're going to come back. Now this is not going to flash off like, it's going to flash off, but not like the other paint. So once your base coat, your base coat, which is the color. Okay, let's see. Once that flashes off, we're going to come back and put a second coat. At least 2 coats. And see how it looks. Depending on how much product we have left, depending on how it looks, we could go with a 3rd coat. We're going to let that flash off. After that's done, the next day we come back, or several hours later, depending on the time, we're going to come back with our clear coat. Now clear is real thin, and you have a tendency to run clear, so you got to be careful with clear. All right, that's how we paint. How we do it here? Spray paint. Practice spray paint. Okay, let me add this. I was a little low in my pressure. I had my pressure too low. Okay. Now here's the pressure. Should have been about there. I was a little bit lower than that. Okay. Now watch. You can see. Okay, that's the water. We got the gun clean. See about here it starts getting all the fuse. It starts throwing droplets. Okay. And that's about where you want to be, about 4 inches. 4 or 5 inches. I was a little bit too close or too far away from the work, and my pressure was a little bit low. Okay. Thought I'd pass that on. Also, when you get ready to paint, okay, you have your gun in this hand, hose in this hand. Okay, now what you're going to do is figure out, in fact, you figure out exactly how much room you need. You got enough hose to get around everything before you even spray the first drop of paint. Okay, well, I passed it on. That's how we do it. If you haven't painted before, this is a video for somebody who's never painted. Get you some of that cheap craft paint, okay, and get you some cardboard and practice. Get to know your gun, get to know how the paint lays, okay. If you got an old truck, an old panel or something, metal that you could prep and practice on would be better after trying with the craft paint. But this shows you how to paint and gives you a good idea, good practice. So try it and see if it works for you. That's how we do it. How we do it here. Paint. Automotive paint with a spray gun. Okay, as you can see, I turn the pressure up on the gun. Okay. And I tried to hold it straighter and do it. When I painted the black, I kind of twisted my wrist. Okay. Here I tried to do it. It's a bad habit. Here I tried to do a better job of getting it straight. Now I'm painting over the black paint, which that was yesterday when I painted the black paint. So the black paint was dry. Okay. It come out real good. Alright. Started down here, and up at the top. And I actually see how I held it straighter. I didn't do my wrist like I did when I was doing the black paint, because I know I'm gonna hear about it. Okay, so got all the TP on the TPP. Still I'm on the bike now. This is very wet. It's a good thing. Hopefully that's a better example of how I paint. By no means am I a professional painter. I am not a professional painter. I painted years ago. I painted. We painted a truck. I painted a truck years ago, me and this other guy. I've done a lot of fenders, I've done a lot of bumpers, I've done a lot of blended paint in, just small little projects. When I painted the car, it wasn't the truck really, it wasn't in here, it was at my shop. I have a shop, another shop. And we had a paint booth at that time. No longer have a paint booth. So hopefully this is a better example. I do have a tendency to bend my wrist, which is why I said do not bend your wrist. Do as I say do, not as I do. Keep that wrist, keep that gun parallel and keep it close to about 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches away. Now I did turn the pressure up. And it made it a lot easier. I was painting a lot better, I should say. That's how we do it. Hope this helped someone. Get your cardboard and practice. Now this is just one coat. Some of that black could bleed through. I'm not used to painting with this paint. This is not a metal surface. But being as I was painting over the black had sealed the plywood. You follow me? So it went a little better. Okay, and it come out good. Good job. It would get by. Like there's some places it might be a little light. Now if this was the base coat, alright, which would be the color coat, after the other coats would go on, what I would do, I would go back and I would wait 10 minutes. Okay, and then now this has this paint is a water base. It has unbelievable pot life. I could come back this afternoon and it's still gonna be good. All right, but when you're painting your automotive paint, you don't have the pot life. So I would wait 10 minutes, okay, and let the paint flash off. Okay, my base coat I'm talking about. And during that 10 minutes, after about 5 minutes, I would take the spray gun and I would press the trigger. To keep the gun, keep it moving in the gun. Just a little bit. Then I'd wait another 5 minutes. I would spray it a couple of times. Once. You don't want to waste the product. Then I'd go back and put another coat on. Now I can see the black is starting to bleed through, so it would need another coat. I could put it on now. It wouldn't. This is not the way I would do a automobile. This paint takes longer to dry. Okay, it would probably run, but if you could see right through here, a little black bleeding black through. Okay, just for fun, throw a little paint on. Now if I put in a second coat, this is what I would do. Start from the bottom, work my way up, trying to keep the same distance. Now if you paint your very top, you paint it from this direction, you're not going to get a lot of paint on top of your fender or wherever you're going. You don't want to paint it down like this. You don't want a lot of paint here. Reason is, when you come back, paint the top, you're going to have too much paint right there. You may, but you have to take that into consideration. I'm just playing right now. Playing on paint. Have to get a little paint. I'm just playing now. This is not the way I do it. That's how we do it. Hopefully this helps someone. All right.